Hey y'all, my little space that turned into my fusion of a KG through grown-ass men and women alt teaching platform that I never really planned on is under construction because I don't want to go in that story. That's a whole other story. Some of my friends have gotten out of the Middle East. Others are still stuck. Others will always be stuck because they're actively they're not in war drills. They're in war because of our dumbass fucking president. Holy shit. And the Christian white nationalists knew what they were doing. They really do. And BB just finally found his bitch. I just don't think people. Number one, the U.S. has greatly lived. They lived on their laurels of yesteryears. Arrogance. Greed. With a malignant narcissist a dying, tangled, malignant narcissist at the helm of a once shining example of how democracy can work. And now I'm like, I question everything about everything. I mean, always. I'm pretty famous for that in my science classrooms, telling them to question everything. And then when people started going down really wild conspiracy theory holes, that's when I realized that maybe that would backfire, and I altered that quote a little bit. I can't remember what it says. Like, stay curious. I changed it to be more stay curious, ask questions, reserve judgment, as opposed to question everything. Because I came from that's how they try to get you, is they're trying to get you to get triggered and lose your shit. I'm pro at those types. I'm still triggerable, though, by one demographic the most. But I went into I rehearsed overnight the things that I needed to say. I could say more. I asked if he had any additional questions. I brought myself in with show and tell. Just let him know, who I was and what was what was up. What was up. And what I'm up to with all my white privilege or whatever. I tell you, I could be using my white privilege in much different ways right now. Of course, I could be locked down into JW Marriott right now if I had said yes to something else. Y'all, war is not healthy for children and all living things. What, neurotic one? My little... She's my ears for... Like, it's not as obnoxious as it could be, but it's something I'd like to be less. I don't know if that's a reasonable expectation. We keep trying. I just acknowledge her for her hard work and letting me know. And then sometimes I tell her what it is. Like, it's just the back neighbor getting something out of the garden or hanging out the laundry. That's it. No big deal. Yeah. All right, well, that's my Monday update. So I'm trying to, my tags, because there's all kinds of DMV nonsensory. I do not know why all the driver's license plates in North Carolina, or at least in Rocky Mount, are run by strictly all black people. And then we did have a tag place here that was strictly all white people, of which I called out racism in, said I would provide feedback, and then suddenly it was closed. So I did not, you know why I did not call out what happened to me? Because I was triggered, number one, and he didn't understand why I was triggered. and he just assumed that I was a Karen, rich Karen, which I don't blame him, but it was just really, it was a little bit of an overloading experience, changing my name on my driver's license and figuring out the best timing, because I don't like to everyone likes to chit-chat with me without fail, and I don't necessarily always feel chit-chatty these days, but I tend to mirror pretty well. On that day, I'd gotten triggered because I went outside to wait, because I knew I was going to have to wait a while. And I go over to the furthest part of the parking lot and just sit on a curb. I didn't know that a state trooper would need to come and fuel there, but I wasn't in the way of him, so I didn't move at all. And he maneuvered his state trooper car appropriately. I went live on this day. I don't know if it's saved. I really don't know what I'm doing, and I did not have even a nano influencer, if you can even call it that, on my bucket list of things to become in this life. I just view it as a documentation tool of how I'm thinking about things in a moment, and all this bullshittery. Nope. They overestimated their capabilities, and they underestimated their enemy, which is a fatal flaw. And we just trashed so many years of diplomacy. God almighty. We were supposed to never have World War II again. Arrogant son of a bitches. I really just didn't think the batshit Christian white nationalist stuff that I saw for decades coming from my dad would ever actually reach the White House. I really thought our systems of checks and balances would work. I did. The wheels of justice are way too slow. And you got somebody with a lot of money jamming it with fake money. The biggest Ponzi scheme of all time I've ever seen. All connected to Israel, and everybody's bribing everybody because of the Epstein files. And everybody's in it for themselves, including, I learned that there's a granddaughter named Kai Trump, which is significant. The first name is significant to me because okay, listen, it means a lot of things in different languages. We learned over the years. But in Hawaiian, it's ocean, and that is where this marine biologist, who ended up marrying a semi-surfer or bar manager in first year grad school, which was probably dumb. No, not okay. It was a dumb choice. It was the dumbest choice I ever made. Anyway, arrogance. What was I saying about arrogance? And how that just seems to be the downfall of a lot of people. It comes from an insecure childhood. If you're bullied or not well taken care of, and get it in your mind that XYZ is to blame. And what sucks is that kid yesterday, and I do say kid because he was in his 20s, I'm thinking. It's hard to tell once they get in their 20s for a long stretch of time how old people are to me. And I consistently get, even though I think, I guess, I definitely don't have Mar-a-Lago face. A-E-I-O-U. From a distance, I guess I look younger than I am. And I'm just fully embracing 50 and no fucks left to give. Staying as squeaky clean as you can imagine. Even things that I ingest are, completely legal. Well, for now. I will say for now. Well, I guess I'm going to cloud watch and then get after some vines again soon. That's long enough, right? Okay. Well, how are you getting out there and making good trouble? Question mark. Peace, y'all.